What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Tokyo Game Show because we just got the Capcom Showcase. This is sort of like E3 in Japan, with a bunch of the Japanese developers sort of focusing on the games that make them great. Well, this is honestly a very entertaining stream they just put on. This was 45 minutes of updates specifically focusing on Resident Evil, a bunch of stuff about Monster Hunter, and a very big deep dive all about Street Fighter 6. I have to say that overall, the presentation was absolutely an A. I do want to go through it though, because a lot of the news they shared is just so dang fun. Let's start things off by talking about Resident Evil, because you guys know I'm the biggest RE fanboy in the universe. So they actually started it off with a tiny tease about the Resident Evil 4 Remake. They basically said the development is kicking butt, the game is definitely on track, no delays, but they did announce something special, which is that they're trying to work to get the game running on PlayStation 4. It doesn't sound like it can even possibly be ported to the original Xbox One, the old VCR model, but they did say that it's running great right now on Xbox Series X, S, it's running great on PC, and obviously running great on PlayStation 5, but they do want to try and make something that makes it sort of accessible to PlayStation 4 owners. Now, immediately, I did see some people say that this sounds like it may hold back the game, but I'm not really worried about it. Honestly, it seems like Resident Evil 4 Remake is just looking already so great, and they've done so much with the RE engine, with the RE2 and RE3 remakes, respectively. So if they say they can get this to work on RE4, I totally believe them. They also announced a Resident Evil showcase coming next month. They didn't say an exact day, but boy howdy am I definitely going to watch that, because there has been so many rumors about a Resident Evil 4 Remake demo, and that's definitely where they're going to reveal it. Next, they did a bunch of talking about the Resident Evil Village DLC, which they're calling Gold Edition, where we're playing as Ethan Winters' daughter, which obviously is Rose Winters. Now, I actually had to take notes because they just showed off so much. So, one of the major features of this DLC is that you can play through the original game of Resident Evil Village completely third person. And I'll be honest, now that they showed off a bunch of it, third-person mode looks surprisingly different. They specifically said in here that they wanted it to look closer to the vibe of RE2 and RE3 Remake, so it definitely seems like they sort of want Resident Evil Village to be that gateway drug to more sales for RE4 Remake, which is not exactly a surprise, but honestly, the game does look different in third person. A lot of those spooky jump scares and stuff, werewolves coming off of roofs and stuff, feels different when you have that over-the-shoulder camera. Additionally, there's a lot of extra animation details that we couldn't see. Times where there's flies coming at your face or vampires biting your neck, where when somebody was in your face in a first-person game, you couldn't truly witness how good those animations were, and now we actually can. The weirdest part of this DLC, though, is obviously the new story campaign, which is what I'm most excited about, where we're going to be playing as Rose herself. This is called Shadow of Rose. So it sounds like it's going to be a more mental style adventure. Rose, using her seemingly psychic abilities, has transported herself into the Megamycete, which, think of it as like a big evil brain. And inside of this, there are lots of what seem to be new monsters. These beasties, though, are very, very tough. They've pretty much said explicitly in this trailer, if they touch you, it's an instant kill. Apparently, the entirety of the Shadow of Rose DLC is going to be a special system where if you get caught, you instantly die. Which seems interesting because the way this is going to make it so you can fight back is obviously you're going to have a bunch of guns, but Rose also has what seems to be borderline magical abilities. It showed her use like a big frost wave to freeze a bunch of these zombie-looking dudes and then shoot them in the head. This seems like an interesting balance. Like, I'm curious to see, like, the line they used in the trailer that I really liked. It said, "Walk the line between life and death," which again also makes me think maybe somehow we're going to bring Ethan Winters back. spoilers for a super old game like Resident Evil Village. It looks freaking great. I'm super excited for it. Obviously, the other part of the DLC is the expanded Mercenaries mode, where we're going to be able to play as Lady Dimitrescu and Heisenberg, which looks fun. They showed a bunch more trailer for that. And of course, they ended that by showing that they're doing a cloud version of Resident Evil Village, which honestly, I don't care about. I've already tested it. I did a video testing Resident Evil Village on Switch. It's a pile of trash. But now let's talk about the other part of this that got me extremely hyped. There were 4 separate games total they showed today, which was Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, Resident Evil Village, Exoprimal, Mega Man Battle Network, and Street Fighter 6. I'll be completely frank, I'm not really excited at all for the Mega Man Battle Network Collections Volume 1 or Volume 2. I did actually play the Mega Man Battle Network games on my Game Boy Advance a while ago. They are good, but they don't exactly fill me with that nostalgia. Do you ever have those games that are good, that are fun, but you have no real desire to ever go back? That's personally how I feel about the Mega Man Battle Network stuff. The gameplay they showed for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak does look incredibly good. One of the things they've decided to introduce is layered weapons, which essentially means like transmog. So you'll be able to get a gun and make it look like a different gun, making it so the fashion aspect of Monster Hunter is much more prevalent. There's going to be a bunch of new monsters. This is all like free updates to the current DLC, obviously called Sunbreak, and all of that is coming out this month. Pretty dang cool. Exoprimal got a long story trailer, lots of new details about the world, the humans trying to fight back against this evil AI, and really focusing on how it seems like this is a heavily centered time travel story. Not that the dinosaurs are coming from the future or the past. It sounds like we are like exopilots from the future who are getting drugged here to fight the current apocalypse of dinosaurs. It's a quirky concept, but I'll certainly take it. I want to discuss the best game here, though, that they showed. Like, obviously, I love freaking everything about Resident Evil, but that wasn't the biggest surprise. That wasn't the biggest shock. The major shock was everything they revealed about Street Fighter 6. They showed so freaking much. So apparently the game is going to have a full open world create a character mode called World Tour, where you make your own fighter, which, okay, that's pretty cool, but then you get to explore this giant digital city and you'll be able to train getting master moves from the different characters of Street Fighter. So you can use like the flying kicks of Chun-Li, the electric abilities of Blanca, and then use these in and out of fights. They also showed the fact that you'll randomly get into battles while leveling up and learning to become the best Street Fighter. Honestly, World Tour seems incredibly freaking fun. They also did this montage of a bunch of different characters that are coming back. We saw Ryu kicking a bunch of butt. We saw the new version of Ken. Ken looks completely redone with his moveset, his clothes, everything about his character design is completely different. His playstyle looks completely different. We saw Dalsim coming back, E Honda, freaking Guile. It looks like every single character that people love is in Street Fighter 6, and all of them, they showed us full combos for a bunch of them in this montage. It looks so freaking great. Even if you don't love Street Fighter, even if you haven't played Street Fighter to bit, I do feel like this is going to be one of those games where even if you only play the arcade mode of a fighting game and you don't go online, Street Fighter 6 looks like it's going to be so freaking perfect. They also showed something interesting, which that they're calling the Battle Hub. Think of this as like the online lobby. It's a place you can go to, and when you sit down at one of the arcade machines, it sort of simulates an online arcade version. So like it's like you get a chance to pick your character, enter a lobby, fighting against other people, have digital online tournaments, and there's even retro Street Fighter games. They specifically showed this like shot which had a ton of the older Street Fighter games playable, maybe even fully playable online because they are in the Battle Hub. That's kind of freaking neat. I am so freaking excited for Street Fighter 6, and we're actually going to get a chance to play it here in 3 weeks. They announced a Battle Hub beta, which means like online battle beta, and that's coming up on October 7th. I am going to play the heck out of that. I'm going to definitely make a video when that comes out because I have to see it myself. I love betas. I love getting a chance to play games early. And I have to say, like, I like fighting games, but Street Fighter 6, this might be one of the best fighting games ever. Like, the marketing, I am so out of my mind hyped for it. But what did you think about the Capcom Showcase? Were you excited for it, or is this a giant wet fart? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Oh man, what? So much hype. Give me that Resident Evil Showcase, baby! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.